Hey there, I haven't talked to you for a while, but I wanted to make a video. As a matter of fact, this video, anybody who's subscribed to me will know that most of the videos and everything that I do are like cooking videos, how-to videos, you know, camping videos, things like that. Pretty much normal stuff. Well, this video is going to be quite a departure from what I normally do, and I really tossed around whether I should make this video or not, and I kind of came to the conclusion that I'm going to go ahead and do it. I realize there's going to be some out there that are going to ridicule me and make fun of me and everything like that, but I thought, you know what, I haven't got anything to lose. Those people that are going to do that are way on the East Coast and are going to affect my life in the least, so I really don't care. In October of this year, a woman went missing here in mid-Missouri, Mingshi G. Elledge, and her husband is the main suspect in her disappearance. They haven't located her body. He is currently in the jail, and the reason that they've got him in there is for child abuse against his one-year-old little, I guess it's a girl, I really don't know, against his one-year-old child. I guess he got a little carried away. He said he pinched the kid, but there was bruising and everything, so I'd say there was a little more involved there than that. But anyway, she had apparently taken pictures of this and everything, and there's some audio recordings of him basically threatening her. So I think it was October 9th. I haven't even really followed the case that close. That's what's so weird about this whole thing. But she disappeared on October 9th, and they have not found her. They have not heard from her or anything like that. So now gets into the really weird part. Let me get a drink, because follow along with me. It's like I said, this is way beyond the stuff that I normally do. And I'm a little nervous about this. And first of all, let me make a disclaimer. I'm not psychic. I don't claim to be psychic. I've never had any psychic inklings whatsoever. I do believe in spirits, and I do believe that there are people that have psychic abilities. Whether I could say that I'm one of them or not, I would never put myself in a category with some of those people who are well known for that. Having said that, this case really bothers me and stuff because of the fact that they have not found this girl's body yet, and her parents came all the way over from China to try to help get custody of this little girl. I'm pretty sure it's a little girl. It's like I said, I don't even really know. But they came over and stuff, and I think they're trying to get custody of the kid. And so anyway, long story short, I've tried to figure out what has happened to this lady. And so, and this is so weird for me, but anyway, so I've basically at night when I've laid down to go to sleep, I've kind of like closed and, you know, done some meditation or whatever, which is basically, I am not going into a trance or anything like that. You just relaxation techniques and things like that, and have asked her, and I know this is weird even for me, have asked her to try to tell me what has happened to her. Well, I did get some ideas, and I don't want to say that they were visions or psychic visions, whether it's just my overactive imagination, whether it's some insight, something like that. I cannot explain this. I wish I could, and I wish I could prove whether any of my theories that I have are right or wrong. But some of the stuff I'm going to tell you a little farther into this story has really got me going, what the hell? So anyway, so like I said, this woman went missing, and they've been searching the Lamine River for her body. Well, in my visions or dreams or whatever you want to call them, she is not in the river. They've been searching there. I think they're going on like 9 days now or whatever, and they've called in sonar. They've called in, I guess, cadaver dogs and stuff to go out on the boats to try to get the smell and stuff of anything that may be coming up from the water. But in my visions, I even hate calling it that and stuff because it makes me sound like some kind of crazy hokey woman. But in the things that I have seen, let me put it that way, he definitely did her in. Let me just put it that way. She was strangled, and I'll get more into that. She was strangled. I have that he put her in a tarp, and it was either brown or green in color, probably tied up with, wrapped with a rope and stuff to tie her up into this thing. She wasn't, I don't believe that she was killed at the location that she is at. She's not buried, not technically, so to speak. He killed her somewhere else, put her body in the trunk of the car until he could figure out what to do with her, got this tarp, and wrapped her in this tarp. But the weird thing about it is that, it's like I said, I do believe that she was choked to death. And now this is weird stuff, because after I had asked her so many times and stuff to show me what had happened to her, and I kind of got a location down. The one that I picked, I'm not 100% certain on. The landmarks and everything that I saw do match the map that I drew, but the entrance into the field and all that stuff is a little bit off. So I'm not 100% sure that where I have her at is right. That I'm sure the police are not going to search that location anyway, because some crazy woman on a YouTube video said that's where she's at. But, and the reason, this is weird even for me, folks. So, like I said, I'm really putting myself out here on this. And the reason I say that she was choked to death is because after I had asked her repeatedly, and she showed me what she could, that I thought, well, I'm going to switch things up a little bit, and I'm going to look at it from his point of view. So when I did that, things got a little odd. Number one, I was choking. I was shown that she was choked to death. I also was shown that when he laid her on top of this tarp, he took her clothes off. Now, why that would occur, I don't know, unless I thought maybe she could be identified if she had these clothing articles still on, if they ever found the body. That I don't know. That's just what I envisioned, saw, whatever. But the really weird thing about it is, and stuff, is when I went through his perspective, I got this horrible cramp in my left hand. So I thought, okay, maybe the guy is left-handed, I don't know. So anyway, so it's like I said and stuff, she's close to the water, this is what I've got anyway. Now I even went so far as to draw a map and all that stuff. She's close to the water, she's not in the water, but it's kind of like a washout or like a secondary channel to the water. But it is next to a cornfield. It's like you go down a county road, and then there's a road, a dirt road, basically a farmer's access into this cornfield, which is next to the creek or river or whatever it is. All I know is it's water. That he had driven down to the end of this dirt road where the field curves around. Then it's open field up in there, and there's a group of trees farther up into that open area. So he drove to the corner of that where it starts to curve around, took her out, put her in this ravine wrapped up in this tarp, and then tried to cover her up with some like tree branches or like driftwood and stuff like that. That's what I've got on that. It's like I said, possibly naked, brown or green tarp, in a ravine covered with branches. I do believe that it is on conservation land, but I can't 100% verify that that's actually what it is. I do see that when he took her into this field and dropped her off into this ravine, that at the time she was dropped off, the corn was still in the field. So his vehicle would have actually kind of been hidden from view when he drove off into the access field. Now the weird thing about it is and stuff is like, how would I, from a hand cramp, how would I know that this guy's left-handed? Well, I'm assuming that he held her down and choked her with his left hand, and she was probably fighting, and he was trying to fend her hand, the rest of her hands off, and her two hands, fend her hands off as she was probably fighting for her life as he was basically taking her life from her. Think, it's like I said, I do hope that they find this girl's body. It's like I said, I think her family deserves closure on this. Her child and stuff needs to know exactly what it was that happened to her. Now, that being said, is this all part of my imagination? I don't know. It possibly could be. I could possibly be onto something. I don't know. Like I said, I've never had psychic inklings to speak of. I'm not going to call myself a psychic. This is what I saw. Take it for what it's worth. Now, the really weird part is on Facebook and stuff, they had, you know, news articles about this girl missing. Washing machine, sorry. They had news articles about this girl missing, and I just kind of put all my information out there or whatever and stuff, but I also put the question out there as to whether this guy was left-handed. Well, a few days later, I actually got a private message on Facebook that confirmed what I had thought, that yes, he was left-handed. Which, that really kind of freaked me out, to say the least. But I've been in contact with a guy in Australia who tries to help locate missing people and everything. So he's been kind of throwing some cases my way and everything, and had me look at one from Arkansas. And so I kind of looked at that case or whatever, and rather quickly, surprisingly even to myself, I kind of had deducted what I thought had happened to her and where she was located, her body. She has not been missing near as long as the Elledge girl, but I kind of had an idea on that one stuff, so I basically told him where I thought she was at, that she was within 10 miles of where they found her car, and she was along an old abandoned highway next to a railroad track in the ditch because it's really bad overgrown in that location. Also, and stuff, he was sending me some more cases and asking me what I thought, you know, and then he'd send me a picture and stuff, and I said I didn't think that this person was actually deceased, that they had took off somewhere, or that these kids had been kidnapped and were somewhere else. Well, he sent me this one case of these 3 children in Australia that went missing, and I believe it was 1966. And he asked me what I thought of this case. Well, I read through it real quick and saw a few names mentioned, and none of the names that that were in this news article were the name that I came up with. The freaky thing that happened to me, number 2. So I kind of came up with an idea of what had happened to these children and stuff, as they were abducted by this guy, and when he got done doing whatever it was he was doing with them, which I would hate to say and stuff, but I don't think it was good things, that he had taken them to a cemetery, and in a recently excavated grave had actually dug the dirt out and put those kids' bodies in, and then covered them back over with the dirt from that recently dug grave. So I mean, who's going to look? You bury somebody, you're not going to go back and look at a grave that you just dug because you know somebody's there. So anyway, but I just, out of the blue, absolute blue, I came up with the name Stanley. Don't ask me why, this name just flashed in front of me, said Stanley. So I mentioned this name to him, and he said, where did you come up with this name? I said, I don't know, it just came to me. Well, come to find out that one of the persons of interest in this missing person's case's name was actually Stan. Freaking me out here. So, anyway, so it's like I said, I'm not claiming to be psychic or anything, but when you get a few things right, and there's really no explanation for it, because like with the left-handed thing, instant hand cramp, is he left-handed? And then I looked up later and stuff, and only 10% of the population is left-handed. So what are the chances of actually guessing that someone is left-handed when only 10% of the population actually is? I thought that was pretty good. And then coming up with Stanley, and the guy's name was Stan, you know, I thought that was pretty unusual too. But it's like I said, I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that's going to think I'm crazy, and I think even my family thinks I'm crazy. But there's been a few other things that I've kind of had come to me, and I won't say that I see pictures necessarily. It's like with the cases he was sending me, like from Australia and from Arkansas and all that. I was wide awake when you know, the thoughts and the names and stuff like that came to me. I was wide awake. Just, well, I was with the left-handed thing too, but anyway. But I don't know where I'm going with this. But, you know, I mean, it just kind of is freaking me out a little bit. And it's like I said, I know that my family probably thinks I'm nuts. As a matter of fact, I know they think I'm nuts. You know, some other people or whatever probably think I'm nuts, and I'll get made fun of on this video. I know there's at least 3 or 4 people that will make fun of me on this, so I really don't care. But there's been a couple other things and stuff that just kind of came to me, and I wrote them down. And I'm just going to wait on those later and stuff, because some of them actually involves family, and I don't want to put that out there. But I'm just going to see if any of this other stuff comes true, and I hope that they can find the Elledge girl stuff. I hope they find her body. Her family needs closure. Her spirit needs to be able to move on and know that the case is closed. They know who did it. Her husband did it. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that her husband did it. So they just need to be able to find it so her family can have closure and move on with their life. So like I said, this video, I really had a hard time deciding whether I was going to actually make this or not. But something just told me to go ahead and do this. Is like I said, if people think I'm crazy, I really don't blame you. Because part of me is going, you're nuts. And then part of me, when the things that I have guessed are verified, the other part of me says, maybe you're not. It's like I said, don't be calling me on the telephones wanting psychic readings and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw this out there and stuff because, you know, maybe there's times that you ever have, you know, it's like you ever go someplace or whatever and you look around and it's like, wow, I've been here before, like a deja vu. I think that's just a little bit of a tap into the psychic abilities that maybe all of us have, but it's just not developed and stuff. We may have had them as children and stuff, but then, you know, you grow up and logic takes over and says, you know, you can't be thinking stuff like that. You can't see into the future, or you can't see into the past and stuff like that. And at one time I might have agreed with that, but having had some experiences with the spirit world, things being moved that weren't in the place that you put them the night before the next day, and catching voices, and my sisters had experiences and stuff in their house. I believe in the spirit world, and I think that if there's a spirit that is not at rest, or, you know, died some traumatic death like this girl did, or, you know, their time was just too soon, or something like that and stuff, I fully believe in stuff that they may have a reason to stick around until they find that the time is appropriate to move on, or until somebody helps them to move on. It's like I said, I may lose subscribers over this. I don't know. It's like I said, this video is pretty far out there and stuff, and I even admit for my channel that this is a little nuts. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd share that, and hopefully and stuff somewhere in the future I can actually give you an update as to what happened to this girl, where they found her body and everything, to see if any of what I guessed is correct. I do hope they find their body, whether I'm right or not, or even a little bit correct. That's not the main thing. The main thing is to find this girl and bring closure to her death and to her murder. But Anyway, thanks for sticking through this really long video. So like I said, struggled whether I should make it or not, but I thought I'm just going to put myself out there. I have on Facebook and everything, so I've got nothing to lose. So anyway, just as Bo of the fifth column would say, it's food for thought. So thanks for watching.